Recording. Yeah, there we go. Oh, welcome to the Big O Money Show. My name is Bill Altman here with the Premier Advisory Group. I'm sitting with Jaclyn. Jaclyn is in place today of Tony, but she's a regular. She does this on a very frequent basis. Tony's out. I don't know what is he doing? Playing in the sandbox today?
Oh, yeah, he's always playing hooky. I mean, come on.
Unbelievable. Or is he over at EAF?
No, I wish he was. I wish he was. He's out of state. I'm not entirely sure where. But he's
Off the
traveling
grid,
and
undisclosed location.
yes.
Oh,
Yes.
geez. Okay,
Yep.
that's fine. We'll let him have a little time, but we're not going to take a lot of that kind of crap from him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, Bill, thanks for having me on the show today because I know I'm quite different than Tony, so we'll see how this goes.
Well, just a hair, yeah, or a few.
Yes.
No, Tony's doing great though, and Jaclyn, we're very, very happy to have you on. There's a lot going on in the markets this week. Tony decided to leave while the Fed lowers interest rates for the first time in a very long time, and they lowered them by 1/4 of a point on Wednesday. And
Wow.
so that was a big deal. People were expecting it and been expecting it probably for quite a while, Jaclyn. And they were disappointed time after time when they thought the Fed was going to lower and lower and lower. But I always tell people too that first of all, don't believe what you hear from whether it's TV, whether it's the Fed, whether it's the president, whether it's your neighbor or your plumber. It's going to happen when it's going to happen. And so we can put betting lines on, which there are betting lines on interest rates. We talked about that last week a little bit, but it was as of yesterday morning, I believe it was a 96% chance, or Wednesday morning, a 96% chance that they were going to lower rates by 0.25% or 25 basis points. And remember, basis points, there's 100 basis points in every 1%. So 0.25%, right, is 25 basis points.
Yes.
Okay. Now, hopefully I said that all right and didn't confuse anybody. But so when we do talk about basis points, sometimes you'll be able to be better educated. And I think a lot of times there is industry jargon. And as a consumer, you hear this, or you might be walking through an office or your advisor is talking to you. No, we rarely will talk to a client about dropping, like 25 basis points. What would you make last week on your account? 25 basis points. It's very rare. You made 1/4 of 1% is typically what you say. But I always think, and it's very important to us that we're educating our clients on a regular basis about what's going on, not only in the markets, but kind of how things work. And I know you don't want to know how the watch is built necessarily. You want kind of a good idea that it's a good watchmaker. It's gonna run. Is it gonna run on batteries or solar, or do you have to? Is it rechargeable like an Apple Watch, or is it something that winds itself based on movement, like perpetual motion? Is it one of those? So I think people want to know how their investments work and kind of what's going on. Is it something that we have to wind ourselves, or it's something that happens automatically? How's this deal work? And so with markets and with this 25 basis point drop, this 1/4 of 1% drop, they're also expecting another one and two more really in October and in a December session, I believe.
Okay.
Chances are lower of those happening. So we're not sitting at a 96% betting line, if you will, on those right now. But it depends on what market. Labor markets have definitely slowed down. We're still hovering above the 2% target for inflation. However, that's coming. Now we're seeing things change a little bit. We're seeing the housing markets change. We're seeing that slow down. We're seeing some of the higher dollar. It's interesting. We just recently saw a high dollar home sell for high dollar was I think 1.8. It sold quick within weeks on the market. Yeah. And, for Omaha, those are, we're not talking about Tony Shore type of stuff, obviously, right? We don't have moats and dragons around our property protecting it. It's different. But, we're talking about Omaha. But then we see a sub $1 million house that's right there as well, same area, that's sitting a little bit longer. So I
Yeah.
think if people are spending the money, they're spending the money on things that are done. They don't really have to go in and do much to them, or if they do, it's not like a full gut. We're seeing
Mhm.
more of that. But just that whole market kind of slowing a little bit, which is okay. We like the ebbs and flows in markets. We, of course, all of us, including myself, we would want the markets to go up, up and up and up, and they never go down and they never jolt anywhere, right? But that's not normal. It's not a. I don't think that's a perfect world. That'd be kind of weird.
Yeah.
That's Nancy Pelosi's world,
That would be an
actually.
easy world to live in too.
Did you know her net worth? And don't quote me on this, but well, I know from the Obama years, it skyrocketed.
Really?
Oh, it's unbelievable, and the trade volume and the growth in her accounts. I mean, you should see the growth. There's, I mean, you can pull this stuff up. They track different political figures, but she's been in the media for this particular reason. And again, people are also just, I'm going to say, they're picking on her, right? And they're kind of
Mhm.
picking on poor fancy Nancy. But it is interesting how you see these trades coming. I wonder if she is invested in Intel. Did she see that coming the other day? In the government putting, probably not, right? Because Trumpy didn't tell her.
Oh,
You
yeah.
wonder what kind of inside information is going on in Washington. You ever think about that?
Yes, I do
Yeah.
actually, and there's a lot of conspiracy theories around this, and
Yes.
we could get into that, Bill, but, I would say I'm somewhat of a conspiracy
Oh yeah.
theorist, and there's gotta be some talk going on, and some people that are predicting this and know what's going on prior to it happening. There's
Are you
gotta
talking
be.
about like Fancy Nancy, or are you talking about stock betting?
Well, both.
Oh,
Both, I
yes.
mean,
They go hand in hand.
yes,
But
yes.
so there's a website you can look up, and it's, I forget the website, but if you type in like Fancy Nancy trades, or whatever, Nancy Pelosi trading, or
Yeah.
account portfolio, whatever, you can really see exactly what's going on. She is a political figure. It has to be pushed out there, and it's in, of
Mhm.
course, a blind trust, so she has no idea what's going on.
Okay,
Right.
okay.
Sure.
Well, then there's gotta be government stuff. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh, yeah. There's
come
something going
on.
on. Yeah. So it's funny though. You see this, but you wonder for ourselves, like, how does it affect us? So, do I recommend that you do that, or go out and subscribe to the Nancy Pelosi investing philosophy? Probably not. I would say I'm not going to recommend that to people to do. If you want to do it, do it. It might work out great for you. But I like how our money managers at Gradient Investments work with the different portfolios and build
Mhm,
different portfolios, and stay extremely actively managed on it. They don't give inside information. They have research, right? And
mhm.
they have analysts. They have people that are constantly watching markets. What are they doing? And the right people doing the right things. The traders doing the trading, right? And the researchers doing the research. The
Mhm.
researchers aren't doing the trading, and the traders aren't doing the research. To a full extent. Obviously, they do overlap a little bit, but that's really, really important. And sometimes when you're looking at a portfolio like our Core Select, which really tries to mirror-ish the strategy of, say, the S&P 500,
Mhm.
but except for a full index of stocks, a full index like 500 stocks, now we're only talking about anywhere from, say, 50 to 80 at any given time in the Core Select.
Mhm.
And those are what our analysts believe. And again, we've got chartered financial analysts. We have CFPs on board. You have teams. Uh, Mike Binger has put together a Goliath of a team
Yes.
in the form of knowledge and skill set, and doing what each one of them does best, and making sure that everybody's happy, because that's important in your job too, to make sure you're happy. All right.
Yeah.
Are you happy, Jaclyn?
Absolutely, I love my job.
Okay, I'm just making sure, we're always making sure everybody's happy around here. But it leads to better quality. It leads to better
Yeah.
portfolio management. It leads to better. So when we can lean on that, we can do our job better. And
Mhm.
we're best at meeting. We're on the street, right? We're best at meeting with our clients. We're best at making sure that their own portfolio is performing up to their standards,
Mhm.
not everybody's portfolio, not the one portfolio that everybody invests in,
Yeah.
right? Because then the customer doesn't get the actual attention that they need. And what's the attention they need? When am I going to retire? How much money will I have? How long will my money last? Uh,
Yeah.
how do I
It's
sleep at night?
It's an individual plan. I mean, an individual strategy that you put together with, Gradient Investments, and you guys all work as a team for each person.
Yeah, we have to, and that's the key
Mhm.
too. And I think a lot of firms do a pretty good job with their clients. We do things a little different, within our community of our kind of our family of advisory firms, I'll call it, and we're not
Mhm.
in any way connected to each other, but we have this network of advisory firms around the country, and this network makes up about $8 billion in assets, roughly. I
Wow.
believe right in that neighborhood.
Mhm.
Okay. And it allows us to see what other people are doing in best practices. So our network works really well. If you're thinking sometime too, geez, I'm not in Omaha, or my mom's not in Omaha, but they're in Florida or they're in Texas or they're somewhere, and they don't really want a remote person. Because I'm a
Mhm.
brick and mortar. I like going to my
Yes.
state farm op. They're like, "Oh, I'll send you a DocuSign." Oh no, I'm going to drive on over. And
Yeah,
burn some
absolutely.
fossil fuels, right?
Yeah. Well,
Burn some
and I
diesel.
mean, all the events that are in person, I mean, interacting with your whole office instead of just one person too, that's always fun.
I brought the ladies smoothies in today.
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah, juiced up. Thanks, Travis.
I'm jealous. I instantly noticed, and you got to tell me what flavor you got.
Mm, mhm. It's the Good Life with blueberry. So I
Okay.
can't recite exactly what's in it, but you can kind of see it's a little purplish. So you got some blueberry action. It's
Okay.
very good. It's my go-to. It's been my go-to for quite a while.
And did you get everyone the same flavor?
Yes, I did.
Okay. Okay.
My girls get my own girls, my daughters. And so when I say the girls, I brought them, the ladies here in the office, the drinks. I left out Kaiser though. I didn't think Kaiser needed one. I didn't want it to go to waste either, just in case he didn't like it.
Yeah. Well, so
Yeah.
is this instead of coffee, or how do we incorporate coffee
I
in?
am double fisting, my friend. Yeah, I got coffee and juice stop, and I'm going to be just going today.
Yes.
Yep, that's
Yes.
the way we do it.
What a way to start your morning. What a
Travis
way.
and Leah Myers, by the way, own this.
Okay.
Okay, juice stop, and they got a bunch of locations around 132nd and Maple is my preferred because it's my closest.
Yeah.
But I'm sure all of them are good, and they do quick, and I think they're reasonably priced, and they're just excellent and tasty and all
Oh,
that. You know.
you're just making me so hungry now. Why do you have to do that to me?
Well, I'll tell you, because I'm trying to motivate. I'm a motivator,
Yes.
motivational speaker. And
Yeah.
so this is good for you to put in. But anyway, better than, like I was saying earlier, better than booze, right?
Well, is it better than Celsius?
The Celsius, I have never had a Celsius.
Really?
I think
Okay,
my
well,
kids have, or have they? Or is it alcohol or no?
oh,
You're not
no, no,
drinking.
no.
You're not drinking this morning, are you already?
N Oh, no, in a way, I kinda wish, but maybe I shouldn't say that.
I was going to say, I'm going to send you to church. Oh, Lord.
No, it's an energy drink, but it's really, really addicting, so
Yeah.
just be aware, and it's expensive too, like $3.50 a can.
Jeez. Yep.
Mhm.
Yep. Well, gotta do what you gotta do. When you work hard and you make the big bucks, that's what you get to do.
Yeah.
Is that
Well,
right?
one day, when I get to your step, Bill, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, then you got college to pay for and everything else. So just stay young while you can.
Well, and I mean, speaking of that, I wanna go back to this housing market,
Yeah.
flow, because I I have not bought a house. I currently live with my parents. Shocker. I love it though. I am very thankful to live with my parents and pay off that college debt.
Good for you.
But I want to buy a house. And
Mhm.
so this is kind of good news for me in a way, because maybe at one point I can get there.
Yes, you can.
Months ago I was a little shocked and honestly a little heartbroken, because there's no way I could afford anything, and really go anywhere with buying a house. So it's
Mhm.
exciting to hear what you said about that.
Well, and now too, we're coming. The interest rates are lowering, and they're going to
Mhm.
continue to lower. They do expect mortgage rates to follow suit in a way. There's a lag time, of course, but as we see things soften up a little bit, prices soften up a little bit, and interest rates soften up a little bit, might
Yeah.
start creating a little bit more of a sometimes a seller's market. It might mix for a little bit, it's kind
Mhm.
of like a buyer seller market right now, almost like
Yeah.
a 50-50 kind of.
Yeah.
But but it might shift to a little bit of a seller's market if those interest rates drop,
Okay.
right? But prices too. So it might kind of stay. It might even out really. And we've always talked about it. 4% treasuries on a 10-year treasury is a normalized rate.
Mhm.
I've read this a million times from a whole lot of different analysts, and they say 4% is a very normalized 10-year treasury rate. Okay, great. Well, when they were 2% before, right, we were seeing really, really low interest rates on homes, but we couldn't save anything. And so then we were seeing like 7% interest rates on mortgages, and they're still out there, right?
Yeah.
7 and plus. But a lot of you on listening today have seen them at 12% and
Yeah.
14% and even higher. And for good credit, and this was a long time ago. Hopefully we don't ever go back to that, but we can normalize rates. And so if we can normalize and you can get into something, Jaclyn, for 5 or 6%
Mhm.
interest rate, and I would say 6%, 6.5, I think was my first one. I think my second one was 6.25, right? And that,
Yeah.
and so, but yeah, you want to do that, and you want to do that before you're doing other things. So don't, right. My suggestion is do not wait for interest rates to drop to buy a home.
Yes.
You want to get into something, but don't rush yourself into something. Make sure that it's in the right area. Make sure that it's resellable.
Mhm.
You won't be if you want to put it back on the market, and if you want to, make sure it's not the nicest home in the neighborhood,
Mhm.
right? And not the biggest home in the neighborhood, but also not a dump.
Yeah.
Lot, location, all those type of things you can't change. The bones you can't change. The layout. Typically, you're not going to change a whole bunch of the layout without pumping tons and tons and tons of money into structural stuff.
Mhm.
But finding that home that needs a little work, they need to plant a little flowers. You need to put a little paint on the walls, and maybe change out the appliances, and have the boyfriend, right?
And a swing set in the backyard one day.
A swing set, yeah. But you do those things, and then 2, 3, 4, 5 years later, or 10 years later, however long you're living in this home, right? But if you wait 2 years and it's your primary residence, you get a
Mhm.
$500,000 exemption if you're married, and a
Mhm.
$250,000 exemption if you're single. So you
Yeah.
can have those capital gains. You can build up capital gains in the house. After 2 years of living, you have to live in it for 2 out of the last 5 years. You're then
Okay.
able to take that. It's not a 1031 exchange, so it's not like a tax-free exchange that you would do on, say, commercial property or rentals or a second home or something like that, where you can't take the capital gain exemption. But now you get to take that exemption, and you can do this as many times as you want. By the way, it's just you have
Oh,
to live in the place 2 out of the last 5 years, and it has to be your primary residence. That's
okay.
key. So let's just say you're single, and when you go to sell the property, you're up $250,000, and you started your home at a $250,000 home, and now it's worth $500,000 because you planted a flower, and you painted the wall and new appliances, and the market went up too at the same time. So you got all this stuff going in, and so now you get to move it. Now you're at a 250. Now you're at a $500,000 house. So now you're moving in, and you
Yeah.
just basically are paying for everything
Mhm.
with the capital gains. Or maybe you find another $250,000 house and just pay cash for it. And we've
Oh.
seen that. We've seen a lot of teachers. And I have a really, really good teacher friend,
Mhm.
and him and his buddy's also a teacher. Teachers, they're very underpaid,
Yeah.
right? And so how can you make extra money on the side or during the summers? And so they'll flip houses. And they'll
S
buy, and they're both very handy, as a lot of teachers are. They're both
Yeah.
very handy. They can do the drywall, they can do the plumbing for the most part, right? The little stuff, and then they can hire a plumber in or whatever. But they can do a lot of it over time and really start making some money. So these guys were flipping and making 10, 20, 30,000 bucks, and same thing. This guy's house is now fully paid for.
Wow.
Yeah, and he doesn't live extravagant, but it
Yeah.
is a fully paid for house, and I believe he has 2 or 3 rentals and a boat, and he
Yeah.
still has his teacher job. You
Wow.
know, life is good, man.
Yeah. You
Right?
just have to make those smart choices,
You do.
make those smart choices early on too, so you have the time to make up for it and, I mean, that's impressive. He's living the dream in my opinion. You
So,
get to
yeah, you're there, man.
Yeah.
Seriously, and you do those, and so I talked to there's a young man, I'm not gonna name his name because you may know him, and it's not Andrew, but there's this young man who was thinking about doesn't own a home. He is your age, actually,
Okay.
okay? He doesn't own a home. He doesn't live with the parents, so he is paying rent, but it's like not hardly anything. He splits it with 3
Okay, good.
guys. Some
Good.
dump that he's splitting or something, right? College.
Mhm.
He's still in the fraternity, I think, even though he graduated. But no, great guy. Know him very well. Know his family very well. He was like, "What do you think about this? You know, my parents are we've been members at the country club for a long time." He says,
Mhm.
and but now that I'm turning like 24, I can no longer be under their membership. So
Oh.
they came to me and said, "Listen, for a measly sum of $8,000, we're going to let you join as a junior member. And your monthly payments too, your monthly dues and all the assessments and everything. Then we added on like if he's going to have a beer or a sandwich and how many times, a very reasonable, it's going to be like another $800 a month or something like that." Right. So you're at 800, you're 8 Gs, you're at your 800. So your 800 times 12 is what, 9,600. Right. So we're at what,
Wow.
17,600 or something the first year in. Right.
Wow.
And we probably really haven't even got after it very hard. I haven't
Mhm.
bought a new golf glove yet. I haven't, got a lesson or whatever people do on the golfing world. I've done none of that. And he was, "What do you think of that?" I said, do you own a home yet? Remind me." I knew the answers. "Well, no, you know that." "Okay. Does you're thinking about proposing eventually, I think, or
Mhm.
maybe, I don't know, maybe get married someday.
Mhm.
Or you have a long-term girlfriend?" "Yeah, yeah." "Do you have a ring yet?" Uh, no, no, no. I said, "Why don't we work on those two things first?
Mhm.
And then we can worry about the country club membership." He goes, "Well, this deal's not always going to be around." I said, "Jake, the deal," edit.
Yeah.
"The deal isn't always going to be around," he told me. And I said, "Jake, it
Is that is
is going to be around."
yeah, I mean, but what deal are they really giving you? I mean,
Well,
that
they're
doesn't
giving
really
me the
sound
junior membership deal.
yeah.
And so he said, "That's a great idea." He said, "I'm going to wait." He's like,
Yeah,
"I was
good.
thinking about it and I wasn't being pressured in any way by anybody, but you're the only one that said, 'Well, that's stupid.'"
Yeah.
And for a sec, he goes, "Well, but you have a membership." I said, "Well, I do have one actually, but I have a house.
Mhm.
My wife has a ring. We've married, and my kids are pretty much grown."
Yeah. Well, and I have to say something about that. I mean, I we actually went ring shopping, my boyfriend and I,
Mm,
and the price of gold right now is insane.
mhm,
So,
yeah.
if you're thinking about getting a ring, I mean, that is a huge commitment, more than I think a lot of guys realize.
Oh yeah, big time. Yeah, they're chunky, and then the cost of the diamonds nowadays. I mean,
Yes.
holy crap!
I
Well,
I'm a lab grown, I like lab grown. I don't
yep,
see necessarily a difference in the
right.
price to make it worth it.
Oh,
So
you see a difference in the price, but not you can't see a difference in the stone, really.
correct.
Right,
Correct.
from by the naked eye. And yeah, a jeweler is gonna look at it and be like, "Oh, yeah, this is fake," or lab
Yes.
grown or whatever they call it. But it is significantly different. Danielle was looking at something the other day, and she came to me, and she's a diamond girl. This girl, I mean, she doesn't have any fake anything, right? And so
Yeah.
she came to me and she said, I can get that same lab grown one for, like, a lot off." I'm not gonna say the number, but,
Yeah. But
it's like
you're
yeah.
still paying for the gold. So
Yeah.
remember that
Oh,
too.
yeah, yeah. Well, unless you just get all lab.
Yes.
Get a whole string of labs. I
Yeah.
can string them together, like, with a wire, fishing line. Mitch could do that for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep. So, we are out of time. We had a good time today. Again, we unfortunately didn't get to talk a lot about markets, but we got to talk about the importance of staying invested, the importance of probably not following the fancy Nancy trade.
Mhm.
I don't know though; she's done well, so do what you want to do. Invest in U.S. markets. We like to do that. I'm not telling you what to do or how to invest. I would need to meet with you and find out your whole situation, of course, right? But we do like the U.S. We think things are normalizing in markets. We think the Fed potentially will lower rates 2 more times this year for a total of 3. Maybe we'll get 3/4 point total drop out of it. That'd be 75 basis points, right? So we're just seeing things happen and things move, and I think they're going to continue to move and shake and do well. We'll have a few hiccups here along the way with policy, but I think these Trump years are going to treat people pretty darn well.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited. So thank you, Bill, and
You're
we
welcome.
will see. Tony should be back next week, so we'll see you
Oh,
again next week.
all right, I'm gonna have to put him on a timeout or something.
Yes.
But
Well,
yes,
that
thanks, Jaclyn. Appreciate. We're out of time. See you next week. BigOMoney.com is where to find us. BigOMoney.com 557-6730 right here in the Big O.